Baboo Rollin 90s.
Kev Mac video, you know this is for sure. Kev Mac video, open your soul, represent your ghetto, baby. Kev Mac video, you know this is for sure. Kev Mac video, open your soul, represent your ghetto. Hold up, for the dime moves and the lokes, for the 6-4s on spokes, for the OGs that did a dime, came back around on parole.
For the homegirls with the scrap game.
Lil' homies that gang bang, from Pelican Bay to YA, rearrange your mind frame. Yeah, I know what you been through. Shit, you had to go tend to. Your mama gave birth on the turf.
I was the founder. I created Conan Pocket in my mother's garage.
I had a lot of, lifting weights, and I was on swole. They started calling me Big Miz.
Kev Mac video, you know this is for sure. Kev Mac video, open your soul.
This is
represent your
only
ghetto,
the beginning.
All right, tell me where you was born and raised at.
I was born in Torrance, California, raised on 92nd in Vermont, between Budlong and Vermont.
When did you move there?
I moved to 92nd about 1971.
What year was you born?
1967.
So just tell me a little bit about your upbringing. Like, what was it like? Who you ran with? What schools you went to?
Well, junior highs, two elementaries, 4 junior highs, and 7 high schools. I grew up on, like I said, I grew up over there on 92nd in Vermont, and started hanging with the 9-0s in my teens, early teens, and
So you was going to all these different junior high schools because you was getting in trouble?
absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was 9-0s Hoovers when you started hanging out with them?
Yeah.
Did any camp time?
No, I went from juvenile hall to the county jail to youth authority and to prison all in one whop. I never came 28 straight years.
When did you first go to the county jail?
I first went to the county jail at the age of 18. I had tried to escape from Central Juvenile Hall.
Tell me the story behind that.
Well, in about February 1986, I was in Central Juvenile Hall, and I had got the word that somebody from A-Tray Gangster and from 9-9 Mafia had killed my homegirl, Kelly, over there on 96 near Daddy-O's and 96 in Western. And, after that, I had planned I wanted to exact revenge, so I tried to escape.
How did you get caught, and how far did you get before you got caught?
I didn't get too far because I had to try and break through that plexiglass, and that stuff turned out to be real durable. So as a result, when I went through the window, I had to have about maybe like 21 stitches here. It was a nice gaping hole, and then my finger nearly got cut off in the process. So I had to have like 8 or 9 stitches in my finger. So I actually got over the fence and right on the side by, I believe, which was UCLA, and that's when I had kind of like, ran out of wind because of the loss of so much. I had lost so much blood.
And they ended up sending you to the county jail?
Yeah, they ended up sending me after they, UCLA. They took me straight to UCLA. UCLA stitched me up. Then they sent me straight to the county jail.
Okay, now walk me through what it was like, your first county jail experience.
My first county jail experience is like, I was actually kind of looking forward to it because I had been hearing a lot growing, especially, whether I was on the streets or in LP or in Central, that the 9-0s couldn't really go to the county jail. Certain prison yards they couldn't be on. So I was like, oh, so I was like really ready to for that next adventure. So when I went there, first I had to go through that process of getting TB checked and all of that. So when I was there, I hear a guy behind me, "Hey, cuz, where you from?" So I turned around, "Baboo Rollin 90s, where you from?" And it turned out to be Forehead from 30s. And he started laughing. I'm like, "What's so funny?" He was like, "You gonna go to 4800? I said, "Ain't that where all the rips go?" He said, "I'll see you there." But I had to go to the hospital ward first to allow my stitches to heal.
Did you heal fully or not?
I actually didn't heal fully. They left me on the hospital wing about 7 days maybe. So I didn't really fully heal. But, all the time, I'm sitting up there, I'm ready to go. I'm like, ready to go to 4800. I'm ready to see what all this hubbub is about,
Did you ask them to send you to the gang module, or did they come talk to you?
No, I asked them. I told them where I was from. I told them I was, they got to put me with the Crips, and that's exactly what they did.
Okay, did the deputies come pick you up and walk you to 4800 or what?
No, they just told me which floor to go to, and then I went over there. Yeah, matter of fact, they told me to go to OSS, to the OSS office. I believe it was off the street safety. That's what I want to say at that time.
Operation Safe Streets
Yeah.
in my time. Okay, and so you go there, and what year was this?
1986, about February 1986.
Okay, and then OSS places you in 4800.
Yeah, they put me into on Able Row in the fish tank.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's like being in a hole.
That's like being in a hole, but everything is open. The fish tank was actually, the shower.
Okay.
The fish tank was actually the shower.
Okay. So who did they put you in the cell with?
Well, when I went in there initially, it was 4 guys in there, and I didn't really say anything to them, and they didn't really say anything to me, and again, I was still healing from my wounds, and then I heard a voice say a couple of guys did see me and did recognize me. And I heard somebody say, "Hey man, get that dude, get with that dude." So immediately I'm knowing that they talking about me. So I jump up and like cell check. Baboo Rollin 90s, where everybody from. Turned out to be a cat from PBG, a cat from Insane, and 2 cats from Menlo's. And 2 cats from Menlo.
Y'all was cool with Menlo, right?
Yeah, we was cool with Menlo, yeah.
What was the 60s at?
They were on the other side on Charlie and Denver Row. And I was on the side with all of predominantly the Hoovers and the A-Tray gangsters.
Your arch enemies.
My arch enemies.
Tell me what happened. What transpired in order for you to get to 4700?
Well, what I did I tell everybody in the cell, hey, stay your distance. I'm gonna stay mine. So as words, they, started to erupt. Then Forehead came over. Forehead said, "Hey man, I see you made it." I said, "I told you I was coming." So it just turned out that Lil Looney from 60, a couple of more 60s, they found out that I was over there. So they was trying to communicate with me across that little tower thing that we can see through. And so, it was trying to get me to come over there, but I was like, man, I can't come over there. So they brought Cat over. So Big Cat from 60 came over there. And, Big Cat came over there. He was on something else, though.
What you mean?
Man, Big Cat came over there and said, "Hey, man, this ain't our beef. It's y'all beef." And I told Cat, I was like, "Bro," I said, "Man, I don't even care. This ain't, I got mine. I ain't even tripping off you." So, of course, Lil Looney, them, rest in peace, they didn't like that. So they sent somebody else to come over and holler at me. Then Lil Sad from 6 Deuce East Coast came over. He got at me. Marcellus from the Grandies came over. They got at me. And they was like, "Boy, what you gonna do?" I said, "Man, I'm gonna get down with whoever want to get down. And, just let it be a head up. That's all I'm asking." So, everybody from Forehead to Marcellus to the 60s. So they was like, getting at the A-Trade gangsters and the Hoover saying it's going to be head up. So that's when Hoover Sam came over there. He was more like the liaison for the Hoovers or something. So he came over there and, he asked me, what was going on, why I'm from 9. I told him that's all I know. Why you want to be from Hoover, So, next thing you know, I was just like, hey, we just gonna line it up. We just gonna line it up. And so, I was prepared to, to do just that. And maybe about 2-3 hours later, Sam, came back over and he was like, hey man, we got something for you. I'm like, what? So OSS came and picked me up, man, and they took me to 4700. And at that time, man, I was hot. I was like, man, why y'all moving me? Y'all acting like I'm a punk, a buster or something. It's like, this can't happen. So they was like, you don't have enough homeboys. I was like, man, I don't know what to tell you, but you got to put me back over there. And so OSS pretty much said, you got to stay in 4700. So at that time, 4700 was a main line. And, you had blacks, you had Mexicans, whites, you had pretty much everybody, but, with a handful of gangbangers. And so, first cell that I went in was, I want to say Able 4. It had like Mike, he was from Avalon, Twin from Santana Block, Foots from Main Street, and you had 2 more cats. So I go in the cell, let them know who I was, and Mike started laughing. I was like, what you laughing for? It turned out to be 2 7-4s in the cell. I said, we got to get that. So they wanted to try to rack pack me, but, the other Crips in the cell wouldn't let that happen. So I got down with one of them. I did what I did, and then I said, let's go with the next one. And the next one didn't want to get down. So I told them they got to leave. And so they packed up their bags, and then they left. Then I asked, was any more Hoovers up in here? Hey, Trey Gangster. They was like, you got a couple of them. I was like, what cell they in? So as soon as I walked out the cell, I saw Papa Bird. Papa Bird see me, he give me a hug. He hadn't saw me in in a little while. I told him we gotta clean this module out. So I said, where the Hoovers at? And so he took me upstairs to the baker, went up to the cell, called the dude out. As soon as the gates racked, just started getting down with everybody up in there.
You gotta let them know Papa Bird was from where?
Papa Bird is from Rollin 90s. Yeah.
And that was one of your homeboys you knew from the street?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So when does 4700 become extension of 4800?
So so a few guys began to roll it up. So I started getting into it with, my thing was if you was allies with the Hoovers at that time, then you had a beef with the Rollin 90s. So then you got down with schoolyards. They was up there. Got down with them. Had to let it's unfortunate, but hey, that's what happened. Rolled some of them up from some of the Pomona dudes, and just start rolling up all kind of Crips. And hey, so the OSS started getting wind that all of these guys is getting rolled up. And so they, came over and they kind of like, got at me like, hey man, what you want? I said, send me back to 4800. And they told me you got to, if at least 9 9-0s came over there, they would send us back to 4800. And I'm like, it's not 9 9-0s in one spot in prison. So how in the heck is that going to happen? And I think it was just more rhetorical on their end. So they went on ahead and I said, hey, well, won't you bring somebody over here? And they asked me who. I said 6-0. They said 6-0 was too big. I said Harlem's was too big. So I was like, hey, I don't really see myself getting along with too many more people. So then, a couple of more days passed, and then when it wasn't no more Crips over there, but me and Papa Bird, it was just non-affiliates. So I just started going after non-affiliates, which it kind of went against my better judgment because I never like to inflict what I believe on people who didn't get down in the way that I got down. And but when the non-affiliates started being affected, then OSS came back over there, and they said, "What about the UGs, the blocks?" I said, "Cool." So at that time, they cleared everything out but two people, me and Papa Bird, and we was literally the only people in 4700. And then they just went over there and they started bringing over all the UGs, the blocks, the Raymonds, front streets, in the main streets, grape streets, and so they brought over a lot of Crips over there.
So basically, you and Papa Bird opened up 4700.
Yeah, I was the muscle.
Okay, all right. So look, I got a few questions.
Sure.
Was 90s neighborhoods at that time?
No.
But y'all was part of the Rollin old car?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Rollins was in effect.
Yeah.
And why schoolyard?
Schoolyards they were allies with the Hoovers. It was actually not just schoolyards. It was the cats from where they were from Gardena. It was, them. So I mean, it was just pretty much anybody who kind of like allied with the Hoovers.
Playboy gangsters.
Playboy gangsters.
Okay. What about the 99 Mafias? Because I know at one time y'all was cool with them.
Some of them that left and did turn. Some 9-0s did leave and turn 99 Mafia, but the 99 Mafias, they actually got along with the Hoovers at that time. I went to school with a lot of them. Came in contact with a lot of them. So, that kind of beef was historical as well.